I do not encourage nor condone any of the actions performed or products shown in this video. All of the videos are produced in a safe and controlled environment. Do not attempt to replicate any of the actions performed during this video.
Hello beautiful people from the internet, it is Connie over here. Welcome back to another video. Today you are a little bit more higher up than usual because I wanted you to be able to see the garden, the ivy, just be able to tell that I'm on top of a rooftop now. I think this is very likely to be the last time I'm going to be having a smoke in this rooftop, as the process of selling this house is starting to really gather pace, I think, for a lack of better expression. At the point of recording this video, I have recorded a video here 5 months ago. It was the fall and everything looked very different, so I'm going to be taking a lot of shots so you can see how the rooftop looks now, but the ivy around the house is completely grown and beautiful. You can even see it take over here on this part, which is so just mesmerizing to see. It just feels different. It looks different. I remember that last time I was here, I was not feeling good. I was going through a difficult period where I was doubting myself a lot, and I feel like I've been feeling a lot better, but I've been wondering if my feeling better is fake. So have I convinced myself that I'm feeling better and therefore I am feeling better, but one day when I'm alone in the silence just with myself, will I realize that this was fake all along and all of the emotions were still there but they were hidden by something else? I've been a little bit scared about this thought as of late. Also, I have my small cup of water here, so I will be drinking some of that throughout. I've been working a lot for the past 5 months on my definition of happiness and on my feeling of contentment, because I've realized that what I value the most is contentment and not happiness, because one of them is fleeting but the other one can be a fixed feeling, you know? I used to spend so many hours here when I was younger, and being here now, looking at it at this perspective also is different, because I used to be sitting down like this, you know, looking towards that direction, and I can't believe that I never turned this way to look at the ivy properly, because it's right in front of me and it's just so grandiose, you know? Nature has a way of taking my breath and words away at the same time, but being here was always a very nice little escape, because I felt like inside of my room, that's where my issues were. But if I came here, which is just outside of my room, it's literally the window of my room, you can jump and get here. Here it was another world, you know, it was different. Here I could look at the stars, or I could look at the garden. I could even spy on the neighbors' houses. Not that I did that too much, just the healthy amount. Any neighbor looks at the neighboring houses. But I've really been wondering, how can you tell that your peace is genuine and not a construction or something fake that you've made yourself believe? I've been feeling really peaceful as of late, and that is also quite dangerous, because I have realized that I attribute a lot of my personal value to how well I believe I'm doing in my creative endeavors. So for example, when I feel like I am making good videos, writing good journal entries, I feel like my creativity is flowing, when I feel like I'm being able to connect the most and be the most with the people that I love and really be there for them, is when I feel great. But when all of these things take a little bit of a turn, because that's life, you know, there's ups and downs, I definitely do not feel good about myself and I do not feel peaceful within myself. So I wonder, now it's a good period and so I'm feeling peaceful. Will I be able to keep my peace when the downs come, you know? That's what I've been wondering, and how can I, apart from everything else, still be able to keep my inner peace? I think that's the most important thing that I've been thinking about as of late. I get the question of, what do you want to do with your life, a lot. What is something that you want to be? What are you working towards? And honestly, I've been giving the same answer for the past 1.5 to 2 years, I think, which can be quite disappointing for some. But all I really want is to have inner peace, because if you have inner peace, it doesn't matter what situation you are in, you'll always be able to be content, at least in my vision of things, you know? So no matter where I am, job-wise, location-wise, if I'm apart or close from my family, if I have inner peace, I'll be able to be okay. And that's what I want to be. be. That's what I want to be. I want to be content and I want to be okay, you know? And so I've been working towards that a lot, and I've been taking a lot of steps to try and still remain peaceful when the downs come, but that's very easy to talk about when things are okay. I've been able to get through every hurdle that life has been throwing at me, and so have you. If you're watching this video, you have gotten through everything up until now, you know? You're a warrior for that, and I congratulate you. And you really need to remember that when difficult times come and you feel like you won't be able to get through it, you have gotten through it. So many things already, you know? So this too shall pass. Yesterday I was talking to a coffee shop owner that I like going to a lot. And I was telling him that I feel my bon senso going away. I don't know how that translates to English, but I'll put it here, bon sense. That I feel like it's going away and I'm kind of losing my mind a little bit over some things. And all he said to me was, this too will pass, you know, this too shall pass. That's exactly what he said. And he said it in English because it's such an iconic expression. And that is true. That was my brother leaving the house through the back door. He was walking down there. I don't know if you could see him. He's taking some clothes from the laundry line. He's going to his theory class of his driver's license. The truth is that this too shall pass, but how peaceful can I remain when the things that shall pass are starting to appear and become really strong and present in my life, you know? I feel like struggling is a really beautiful thing because it is through struggles that you grow the most. At least I feel this. It may be a toxic way of looking at things, but I don't think it is. I think struggle is sort of like your mom, you know? Struggling and sadness teaches you lessons, just like your mother taught you when you were younger, you know, difficult lessons that you needed to learn. Hey, Minnie. That's my cat. My cat Minnie just appeared on the rooftop. She doesn't love being picked up, so I'm letting her down. I feel like you learn the most about yourself and about the way you perceive the world when you are struggling, when you are sad, you know, because it's way easier to deal with easy things or happy moments or peaceful moments. But how do you react when tough things start coming around, you know? This is really important to learn about yourself. Are there things you wish you would do better next time you struggle? Do you wish to not talk as bad about yourself, you know? Do you wish to not close yourself so much and open up to other people about how you're feeling? That's also so precious. If you have people around you to whom you can open up to when you're not feeling great, that is something to be so grateful for, you know? Because especially these days, so many people are feeling so alone. There's so much to talk about, my friends. Not wanting to romanticize sadness, but there is a certain beauty in it, you know? With how much grace can you handle the things that are difficult? That's what I try to do the most when I'm sad, is how can I get through this gracefully, like I'm a feather, you know? I do not want to go through this dragging myself every day. I want to go through this difficult time like I'm floating, you know? It's just another wave. And this too shall pass. I think that sentence is so overused, but so real, you know? It's so real. And I've talked about this in other videos, but there are a couple of difficult things coming into the horizon of my life, you know, like the death of my pets. I have 2 very old cats and my dog Luna, she's also getting very old. There is this house that's about to get sold. At the point of recording this video, it is now June 25th. You'll probably only be seeing this a little bit later because I like to pre-schedule my videos because I'm very anxious, and in case I need to be sick or not be able to record because I'm not feeling creative, I like having a backlog of videos that I can rely on. So that is why a lot of my videos are very pre-recorded. It all comes down to my anxiety. And I've always really admired those YouTubers that can just record a video every week and always have creativity for it and never worry if they're not going to be able to come up with something, you know, which is such a niche issue that maybe some of you won't be able to relate, but consistency is something that's very, very important in YouTube. And so for me, I always want to keep you guys updated, and sometimes I just can't. If I fall ill or if I'm just not feeling good at all, I don't want to be really sad and down on camera, because I do not want to give you that sadness as well. I feel like, at least for me, I'm a person that really acquires others' emotions. So when I watch something really sad, or when I'm talking to a person that's really sad and not doing well, I definitely get those emotions for myself as well. And so I'm careful to try and always record when I'm feeling neutral, at least, you know. Of course, that has not always happened. I've recorded videos when I was sad. So right now, I just feel like this really is the calm before the storm, both figuratively and probably weather-wise, because it feels like it's going to start raining very soon. I feel like I'm just trying to prepare myself to handle things with the most grace I can, to prove to myself that all of the work that I've been doing for the past years will help me, you know, because 2 years ago I wouldn't be able to deal with any of these things with calm. I would have been really anxious, I would have been really sad, I would have let myself fall down into that dark pit. And I feel like maybe this time I'm more ready to not fall down so much, maybe fall down a bit, but just stay at the surface where I can still see the light, you know, because sometimes you fall down so much that you feel like you're falling down and the ladder is disappearing and there's no way out and there's no light, and you cannot see how you will ever get out of this. And I like to believe that maybe this time I will still be able to see a sparkle, you know, at the end. I feel like I have to keep reminding myself that I have gotten through everything, and there's so many difficult things that I cannot even think about right now that I will have to go through and I will be able to go through. Sometimes I wish I could see the end of my life when I'm very old, if I get there, and be able to have peace knowing that I did everything I could to remain content through all of it, and that it was way more happiness than it was sadness or depression or anything else. But you know, you cannot see the end of your life, you cannot see the future, and you cannot get to that point to be able to see the past and see how it all went. And even if I could, I don't know if I would want to, you know. I feel like there's a certain beauty in uncertainty. You don't know what is going to happen, but you know that you'll be able to get through it. At least that's what I tell myself. I feel like probably the most important thing to have in life is a support system. It can be just one person, you know. For me, I'm very, very, very grateful to have both my mom, dad, brother, boyfriend, a couple friends. I have a couple friends, you know. You know how long it took me to be able to say that? Truthfully, I feel like I'm evolving as a person because I finally have genuine friendship, which is such a beautiful thing to be able to have, and I never was able to do that before because I was too preoccupied in trying to survive, you know. Sometimes you just cannot nurture relationships when your sole preoccupation is surviving the day, you know. But I feel like I've not just been surviving for the past months, I've actually been living a little, which is just so nice to be able to say. I'm going to put out my cigarette at about this point because I feel a little bit of nicotine sickness may be coming. This is just my second cigarette, but I have a very, very low tolerance to nicotine. I feel like water helps a lot with that, so that's why I brought my generous sized cup today. And if truly this was the last time that we have met here, then I hope you have enjoyed it. And I'm so glad to be able to have shown you this space that's so important to me. Wherever else we meet from now on, I hope you enjoy that too. Thank you so much for coming. If this is the last time that we saw each other, I hope you have a beautiful life ahead of you. And just know that this too shall pass and you will get through it. And you are such a strong human being, capable of so much more than you think you are. And I'll see you all very soon, alright? If you do decide to come back, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!